Okey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan salam sejahtera. Di mana yang saya janji dalam pada hari kelas yang sepatutnya kita jalankan kelas yang lepas, so saya tak dapat nak jalankan. Jadi saya buat satu recording untuk kelas menggantikan kelas yang lepas. So topik yang seterusnya kita akan bincangkan pada hari ini about experimenting. So as we recap from the previous class, we can see our framework of DNA, innovators DNA. We can see a few of behavioral skill that innovators need. One of them is experimenting, as we try to discuss for today. Kalau kita lihat daripada Thomas Edison ni, ini satu quote, kata-kata yang menggambarkan tentang experimenting lah. So I haven't failed, I have found 10,000 ways that will not work. That means adalah perkara biasa dalam kita membuat inovasi ni untuk mencuba ataupun try beberapa kaedah. Siapa yang digambarkan oleh Clayton Christensen in experimenting is one of the 5 essential skill. Ini yang seperti mana saya jelaskan sebelum ni. Boleh tengok pada slide yang sebelum ni macam mana networking, one of the important skill that innovators need in order for us to develop our innovations skill. And then this skill is crucial for fostering creativity, generating new ideas, and transforming those ideas into practical innovation. Okay, so we can see from here that there are five key behavior that can be developed to enhance one's ability to experiment effectively. The first one, we need to do a piloting. This involves trying new ideas or project on a small scale to gather data, okay, and feedback before committing to a full scale implementation. So maksudnya sebelum kita pergi kepada mass production, kita perlu ada untuk try kita punya idea in small scale to get more data and feedback. Okay, and then prototyping, this is creating tangible representations or model of new concept or product or services. Okay, so that means prototypes can be physical or digital and serve as a way to test and refine ideas before investing significant resources. The next is empathizing. That means try to understand okay, the needs and perspective of others, including customers, colleagues, stakeholders. This process can help us in terms of how that we can really understand our experiments ataupun kita punya produk yang baru, idea yang baru tadi. And then observing, that means actively. This another I think is one of the very important skill that we discussed before. Okay, and so yet we can see this skill can be used as well in experimenting skills behavior. Okay, actively observing the world and paying attention to details and others might overlook. So observing can lead to new insight, boleh memberikan idea-idea yang baru dan opportunities for innovation. And then questioning, okay, this is a challenging assumption, asking thought provoking question and seeking out alternative perspective. Okay, so questioning help uncover hidden opportunities and unmet needs. Okay, Right, and to strengthen your experimenting skill, you can engage in activities like brainstorming. Ni yang seperti mana saya pernah discuss sebelum ni. We need to divide our time between brainstorming and try to evaluate that's idea that we can get from brainstorming. Okay, to make sure that we have what we call as psychological safety when we come out with some idea. Jangan kita terus menilai dalam satu-satu tempoh ataupun proses untuk brainstorming. Okay. And then rapid prototyping, gathering feedback and so on. Okay, you can read the and then these three ways in which innovators, I mean particularly those who start new business or invent new product, excel and experimentation. Okay, ni cadangan daripada ni tadi yang macam mana kita boleh uh, menggunakan skill ni dengan lebih efektif. Okay, the first key of first tip that we use a hypothesis driven approach. Hypothesis driven approach. Okay, so innovators tend to approach experimentation with a clear hypothesis in mind instead of randomly trying out ideas. Okay, ini sama macam kita membuat kajian. Biasanya kita akan membangunkan satu-satu hipotesis. Pembangunan satu-satu hipotesis mestilah berasaskan daripada asas yang kukuh. Maksudnya biasanya hipotesis yang dibina, contohnya bila kita buat kajian tentang social science contohnya, terdapat hubungan yang signifikan. Hipotesis pertama kita adalah terdapat hubungan yang signifikan antara kepuasan pekerja dengan keberkesanan kepimpinan contohnya. Okey. So dua hipotesis ini ataupun statement ini sebiasanya dibina hasil daripada kita punya penelitian daripada kajian literatur ataupun kajian-kajian lepas, daripada teori, daripada dapatan-dapatan kajian lepas. So the first that we can do as an approach to develop our experimenting secara berkesan effectively, this is the first one, that hypothesis driven approach. And then rapid and low cost prototyping, ni another skill or another way that we can develop experimenting skill in effectively. And then learning from failures. Okay, seperti mana yang kita tengok dalam Thomas Edison punya quote tadi, I'm not never fail. Actually he learn almost 10,000 ways that can be a failure for their for his product. Okay, so specifically kalau kita lihat dalam textbook yang kita refer daripada yang the NS Innovators, we can see experimenting can be used by three ways. Try out new experiences, and then take apart a product, process and ideas, and then test ideas through pilot and prototype. Okay, so we try to go in detail for the next slides. So try out new experience. Okay, these are the innovators DNA. The author emphasize the importance of trying out new experience as a way to foster creativity and enhance innovative thinking. Okay. So here are 3 points explaining why this approach is very valuable. The first one is a cross-pollination of ideas. So trying out new ideas exposes innovators to diverse perspectives, industries and domains. By engaging these activities outside their comfort zone, they can draw connection between seemingly unrelated concept and bring fresh ideas to their work. Okay. So bila kita lihat dalam kaedah yang pertama ni, uh, bagaimana pengalaman-pengalaman baru ni tadi akan memberikan kadang-kadang satu idea yang sangat baik. So kalau kita lihat daripada konsep Kaizen pun contohnya, konsep Kaizen yang diperkenalkan oleh Jepun, bagaimana konsep tersebut terbina hasil daripada pengalaman, pengalaman yang menunjukkan bahawa mereka yang membuat kerja dalam setiap seksyen tersebut lebih memahami, lebih faham, lebih arif tentang bidang kerja mereka. Jadi mereka lah yang sepatutnya memberikan cadangan, dan cadangan mereka adalah lebih baik berbanding dengan orang yang tidak terlibat dalam proses kerja tersebut. Okey, apa yang tercapai daripada situ, mereka mensasarkan ataupun mengharapkan even small improvement that can save maybe even 5 second or 10 second of work process. Maknanya continuous improvement. Okay, this is what we call the new idea can come out from the experiences. And then expanding the knowledge base, when innovative actively seek out new experiences, they accumulate a broader range of knowledge and skill. So this diverse knowledge base enable them to tackle complex problem from multiple angle and provides them with more extensive toolkit to create innovative solution. So innovators who are well versed in various areas can adapt and combine different approach to find unique answers to challenges. Okay, ni kita boleh lihat kadang-kadang background daripada innovators tersebut hanya mungkin seorang dalam bidang yang lain daripada apa yang mereka hasilkan. Kita tengok sendiri Elon Musk ni, bagaimana beliau punya latar belakang bukanlah boleh kadang-kadang dikaitkan dengan kejayaan dalam industri yang dia ceburi. Dia perlu ada kefahaman juga, dia perlu meningkatkan ataupun mendapatkan pengetahuan asas yang lebih dalam bidang-bidang yang lain untuk dia menyelesaikan masalah-masalah ataupun cabaran dalam perniagaan yang dia terlibat. Sama juga macam pemimpin, pemimpin pun kadang-kadang kita tengok background mereka bukan dalam bidang ekonomi, tetapi mereka perlu memahami, perlu mempelajari bidang, contohnya bidang ekonomi, bagaimana untuk memahami solution yang terbaik. Okay. Kemudian building empathy and understanding, so trying out new experiences often involve interacting with different people and communities. Ini seperti mana yang kita jelaskan dalam slide sebelum ni lah, yang berkaitan dengan bagaimana kita perlu ada empathizing ni tadi, right? So this empathizing can develop the understanding more in our idea. So this is another example, that's a very good example for us to explain about try out new experiences. Okay. So innovators like Jeff Bezos and Rupert Murdoch have regarding the value of trying out new experiences in different environment. So these successful entrepreneurs and innovators exemplify the importance of exploration and how it can contribute to their creative thinking and business success. Okay. So untuk menjadi seorang yang seperti mana yang mereka buat, kita perlu ada sifat openness to new opportunities. Openness to new opportunities. Okay, innovators like Jeff, Bezos and Murdoch have demonstrated a willingness to explore new opportunities and experiment with different ventures. Okay. Ini adalah perkara asas yang utama untuk kita memahami ataupun menguasai experimental skill, openness to new opportunities, and then adaptability and resourcefulness. Ni yang leveraging ke ataupun kita mesti mampu bersifat dinamik, bersifat boleh menerima ataupun boleh mengadaptasi suasana dan keadaan, okay, semasa. And then learning and continuous growth. That means successful innovators understand that learning is a continuous process. Learning is a continuous process. Sama macam yang saya bagi contoh tadi, bagaimana Kaizen punya konsep terlahir apabila mereka melihat bahawa proses pembelajaran tu adalah berterusan, dan mereka yang sangat-sangat memahami dalam proses yang terbaik, dalam production proses yang terbaik adalah mereka yang terlibat dalam setiap section proses tersebut. Okay, the second the second part that we want to discuss about experimenting is about take parts, product, process and ideas. So the excerpt from innovators DNAs highlight the practice of taking parts, product, process and ideas as a method of learning and fostering innovation. So it also provide an example involving Michael Dell and his early experiences. So the concepts about that is disassembly assembly for understanding. Disassembly for understanding. It means taking part products, process or ideas involve deconstructing them to understand their components, mechanism or underlying principles. Okay, this hands-on approach allow innovators to gain a deeper insight into how things work, and then identifying strength, weakness, and then opportunity for improvements. Okay, so by doing that, we know in depth about the process, about the mechanism, and then so from there we can maybe try to give some idea to our team. And then learning through reverse engineering. That means reverse engineering, a common technique within this assembly. Okay, involve breaking down existing product or solution to analyze their design and functionality. Ini adalah contoh yang boleh kita ambil bagaimana syarikat-syarikat otomotif daripada Jepun cuba mempelajari sebahagian daripada proses yang dia lakukan adalah mengambil sebiji mungkin kenderaan, motor ataupun kenderaan kereta, disassemble ataupun dileraikan, produk yang asal, dan daripada situ mereka akan try untuk membuat satu inovasi yang baru dan lebih baik dan bersesuaian dengan idea, dengan masyarakat ataupun customer ataupun demand setempat. So the example of Michael Dell mentioned in the excerpt is likely related to his early experiences of disassembling computers. Sama juga kalau kita lihat contoh yang di sejarah bagaimana Steve Jobs menghasilkan iPod yang pertama, iPhone yang pertama. Kita akan lihat mereka ada proses yang mereka cuba teliti produk, proses and the ideas. Okay. So you can see from here, he started by taking apart. Okay, Michael Dell ni dia mula dengan meleraikan bagaimana mereka dia memahami how the computers work. So this practical experience gave him valuable insight into the component and design of computer, allowing him to identify opportunities to create a more efficient and cost-effective design direct to customer business model. Okay. Okay, and then the third or I think the last one from experimenting is about the test new ideas through pilot and prototype. Okay. So we can explain this part by describe from Max Levchin's journey. That's highlighting his academic background and passion for security technology, leading to the founding of a successful startup. Okay. The first one that's academic background in computer science. Is Meg Levchin majored in computer science during his college years. This academic focus provided him with a strong foundation in programming, algorithm, and computer system. And his studies in computer science likely sparked his interest in technology and set the stage for his future innovation. Kalau saya tak salah ni antara founder pada PayPal, tak silap saya. Okay, ya betul, co-founded of PayPal. PayPal ni adalah satu platform pembayaran yang banyak digunakan dalam eBay dan juga beberapa beberapa company menggunakan internet sebagai platform untuk berdagang, e-commerce punya company, giant e-commerce company. Sebelum lahirnya kat sini kita tengok Lazada ataupun lahirnya Shopee, sebelum ni ada yang eBay yang banyak menggunakan platform PayPal sebagai mereka punya platform untuk pembayaran. Okey. So kita lihat kat sini contoh bagaimana Mac Levchin ini punya journey akan menjelaskan secara lebih praktikal bagaimana the new idea through pilots and prototypes can help innovators punya skill in term of experimenting. Okay, and then last but not least about the tips for developing experimenting skills. I think there are seven tips from the author. The first one is cross physical borders. It means crossing physical borders fosters creativity and innovation by exposing individuals to diverse environment, cultures, and perspective, leading to fresh insight and novel connection that can inspire innovative ideas and solutions. Okay. And then cross intellectual borders. That's crossing intellectual borders involve exploring different field, discipline, and ideas. Okay. Ni semua ada kita telah explain lah lebih kurang dalam slide-slide sebelum ni. And then develop a new skill. Ni yang kita kata knowledge base tadi perlu kita perbaiki. Kadang-kadang asas pengetahuan kita dalam bidang macam mana PayPal tadi, asas pengetahuan dia adalah dalam bidang komputer, tetapi apabila dia explore bidang-bidang berkaitan dengan security, dia akan ada kaitan dengan mungkin tak banyak sikit tentang bidang-bidang networking ataupun safety dalam banking dan sebagainya. Kemudian disassemble of product, ni pun sama, macam mana kita bagi contoh, ada beberapa contoh. Yang paling biasa kita akan dengar contoh berkaitan dengan bagaimana industri automotif di Jepun naik dengan begitu cepat apabila mereka menggunakan kaedah ni. Ambil produk, ambil motor ataupun kereta daripada luar, dia leraikan, cuba belajar daripada situ dan cuba hasilkan satu produk yang lain yang lebih maju dan lebih baik. Okay, and then build up a prototype. That means it's very common for small production for us to test and refine the concept, gather feedback, and then leading to more effective and successful innovations. Okay. And then regularly pilot new ideas. This is very common, from small scale experiment to test the feasibility and potential to innovation concept. So this allow us to validate assumption, not only as assumption, but we can validate that. That's a very common in experimenting ataupun dalam mana-mana kajian kita melakukan pilot study. Di sini kita akan dapat satu maklumat yang lebih clear ataupun maklum balas yang lebih dapat disahkan. And then go trend spotting. That means involve actively observing and analyzing emerging pattern. So we can see from here is connect each other our skills as an innovator. Okay. So I think that's all for this topic, and I think I will explain more about this tip for final later on, when we have a chance to have a face-to-face class. Okay, so thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.